Alright, my dear children of class 11 science, we will continue with the same chapter, that is surface tension. Now we start with the concept of intermolecular forces. Yes, this is a very important concept as for the atoms or the molecules of any of the substances is concerned. Okay, because you know that every substance is made up of the small particle or minute particles called molecules. Okay, now these particles always exert force to each other. But what type of force they exert? The force of attraction to others. Means every molecules attract other molecules by a certain force. Okay, and this force is also called intermolecular forces. But this force of attraction, the intermolecular force of attraction between the molecules, okay, can be classified into two types. One is called cohesive force, one is called adhesive force. One is called cohesive force, another is called adhesive force. That means intermolecular forces are basically how many types? Two types. One is called cohesive force. We also call a force of cohesion. It's called force of what? Cohesion. And another force is called what? Adhesive force. Also force is called adhesive force. Or we also call as the force of addition. We also call as what? The force of what? Addition. Now to understand about this force, okay, let me just tell you about the molecular theory of solid, liquid and gas. Means that we also call this molecular theory as kinetic theory of substances or matter. Now you know every matter, as I said, is made up of minute particles which are called molecules. And these molecules are in the what state? Free state. And these molecules attract what? Each other. So once we talk about the force of attraction between the molecules of similar types, molecules of similar substance, or we can also say there is the force of attraction between the molecules of same substances, and that force is called cohesive force. Like let me take the example of water. Suppose I consider this a water where the water is made up by a number of molecules. These are the molecules of water. So water as a substance, as a liquid, okay, compressed by a number of molecules. So between the molecules, among the molecules, there is a what? Force of attraction takes place. There is a force of attraction between the two molecules. And this force of attraction between the molecules of same substance like water is called cohesive force. So in a simple way, we can define cohesive force as the force of attraction between the molecules. These are the molecules. Okay, these are the what? Molecules of molecules of two substances, molecules of same substance like water. It can be of other substance also. Okay, and this force of attraction between the molecules of same substance is called cohesive force. But at the same time, there is a force of attraction which also exists between the molecules of different substances, and that force is called adhesive force. So in a simple point, and let me just add, cohesive force is the force of what? This is the force of attraction. Okay, this is the force of attraction between the what? Molecules. Between the molecules of what substance? Same substance. But on the other hand, if I define adhesive force, also called force of addition, as I said, it is also the force of attraction. It is also the force of what? Attraction between what? Between the what? Molecules. Attraction between the molecules of different substances. Attraction between the molecules of different substances. Okay. Now let me give you one example of this adhesive force. Like we have a beaker. Let me just take this a beaker containing water. So if you fill water in a beaker, and this beaker is made up of glass. This is made up of glass, and this is the wall of the glass, and this is the water. Okay, so what happens when the water is filled in a glass beaker? Then there is a force of attraction between the molecules of water and the molecules of glass. See, consider this is the molecules of water and this is the molecules of glass. So between the molecules of water and the molecules of glass, what will exert? Force of attraction also exert, and this force is called force of addition, or also called adhesive force. So one simple example I've given out here is taking water in a glass beaker where the molecules of water can also exert force to the molecules of glass, or wall of the glass. And this force which exerts between the different substances is called what force? Adhesive force. Now the next thing that I want to add is that the definite shape, as you know, the definite shape and the rigidity of a solid as one of the substance is due to cohesive force, also called force of cohesion. Okay, because in solid, okay, the molecules are tightly packed, and there is intermolecular force of attraction between the molecules, and this molecular force between the solid is also called cohesive force. And due to that strong cohesive force exerted between the molecules of solid, that solid has a definite shape, and that solid are also rigid. That means they are usually hard. So the definite shape and the rigidity of solid body is due to cohesion. Okay, that's why you see solid. In case of solid, okay, this cohesive force are stronger as compared to liquid and what? Gas. So children, that's why I already added I explained the point, and the same point I've written out here, that definite shape and rigidity of a solid body is due to cohesion, or simply called as force of cohesion, also called cohesive force. And this cohesive force, as I said, is strongest in what? Solid. Then the next thing that we need to learn about these two forces, and we can compare this force even with the gravitational force. Yes, children, you know gravitational force, the force of attraction between the masses. Okay, two body of masses. Okay, now this force, these two cohesive force and adhesive force, okay, is completely different than the what? Gravitational force. Because these two force do not obey inverse square law. Cohesive force and adhesive force does not obey on inverse square law. Whereas gravitational force, as you have learned, obey inverse square law. Means F is proportional to 1 by r square. Because you have learned in Newton's law of gravitation, F equals G m1 m2 by what? R square. The force between two masses, okay, separated by a certain distance, is given by F equals to G m1 m2 by r square. Whereas the cohesive force and adhesive force, okay, between the molecules, okay, is completely does not depend on the inverse square law. Or to say in a simple words, they do not obey inverse square law. Okay. Now, if the distance between the molecules is greater than, there is a distance, I'll take you, that is 10 to the minus 9 meter. You know 10 to the minus 9 meter means 1 nanometer. So, which is a very small distance. Suppose, if the distance between the molecules is greater than how much? 10 to the minus 9 meter, then the force of attraction between them is almost negligible. Almost what? Negligible. Okay. But within this limit, the force increases very rapidly as the distance between the molecules decreases. Distance between the molecules decreases. As you know, when the molecules come closer within this range of distance, then the distance decreases, means the force increases. But if the distance between the molecules is more than what? 10 to the minus 9 meter, then this force is almost negligible. Okay, because this force between the molecules lies only in the range, maximum limit of how much? 10 to the minus 9 meter. So children, one important term or the point that you need to note it down out here, that is the maximum distance, as I said, that is almost nearly close to 10 to the minus 9 meter, okay, up to which the two molecules attract each other, is actually called as molecular range. So this cohesive and adhesive force exerted only up to this range. If it is more than that, okay, then the distance will not be this force, cohesive force and adhesive force, will not exert at all. I mean, it will be neglected and all. Okay, so this particular range of the distance, maximum distance, is called molecular what? Range. What we call as molecular range. Now the next thing that we need to see is that the effect of cohesive and adhesive forces, as you learned just now, can be observed also in our daily life. Now it is due to the cohesive force that the two drop of liquid, when they are brought in mutual contact with each other, they can coalesce into one. Means if you bring two drop of any liquid in contact with each other, then they also form what? A single drop. They'll form a what drop? Single drop. That means they will coalesce to form a single drop. Now why this happens? Because of the what force? The cohesive and adhesive force. Okay. Similarly, as you know, it is difficult to separate two sticky plates of glass wetted in water, because a quite large force has been applied against the what force? Cohesive force, and between the molecules of water. Similarly, if I tell you another example of the effect of cohesive and adhesive force in daily life, is a very common example or effect, and that is water with the glass surface. You know, water with the what surface? Glass surface. Water with the glass surface, but mercury, as you know, one of the liquid, does not. And this is also due to the what force? This cohesive force and adhesive force exert between the molecules of water and the molecules of water and the glass. Okay. Now, to understand in details about this cohesive and adhesive force, that due to that water weight the glass surface and mercury does not weight the glass surface, you learn in the next YouTube video. Means we do continue with the same concept in the next YouTube video.